Willow Creek, Season 2, Episode 4, The Chair. The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry wasps as Rachel blinked awake. Cold metal bit into her wrists, leather straps pressed against her chest. The acrid smell of antiseptic burned her nose. She was in the chair. Across the room, the black-suited man adjusted a machine with too many wires. "Ah, you're awake." His voice was calm, almost pleasant. "We can begin." Rachel yanked against the restraints. "Where's Nick?" The man didn't look up. "Mr. Larson is indisposed." He held up a syringe filled with something milky. "But don't worry, you'll see him soon." The needle glinted as it came closer. Rachel's pulse pounded in her ears. Then, a gunshot echoed through the asylum. The lights flickered. The man hesitated, and the door burst open. The rescue. Emma stood in the doorway, blood streaking her temple, Sheriff Vance's revolver smoking in her hand. The black-suited man sighed. "Ms. Carter, how predictable." Emma fired again. The bullet shattered the machine beside him. "Next one's between your eyes." Rachel saw the moment he calculated the odds, the slight twitch of his fingers toward his hip holster. Emma cocked the hammer. "Try me." The man stepped back, hands raised. "This changes nothing. The project will continue with or without." Emma shot the syringe from his grip. Glass and liquid exploded across the floor. The man's composure cracked. "You have no idea what you're—" Rachel spat in his face. Emma was already cutting the straps. "We have to move, now." The asylum's lower levels smelled of rust and rotting meat. Rachel gagged as Emma led her down the stairs. "Where are we?" Then she saw them. The cells. Dozens of them, each containing a teenager strapped to a bed. IVs dripped unknown fluids into their arms. Electrodes dotted their temples, and their eyes were open. Rachel pressed a hand to her mouth. "Oh God." Emma's grip on the gun tightened. "Phase 2. They're turning them into weapons." At the end of the hall, a familiar figure slumped against the bars. "Nick." Rachel rushed forward. His pupils were dilated, his breathing ragged. "Nick, can you hear me?" His voice was a broken whisper. "Run!" A metallic click echoed behind them. Sheriff Vance stepped from the shadows, his service weapon aimed at Emma's head. "Enough," he said. Emma didn't lower her revolver. "You bastard." Vance's smile didn't reach his eyes. "I gave you a chance to walk away." Rachel's hands balled into fists. "You sold children." The sheriff shrugged. "I sold soldiers. The strongest minds, the most resilient bodies." His gaze flicked to the unconscious teens. "And thanks to you, we perfected the formula." A siren began to wail. Red lights flashed. Vance's finger tightened on the trigger. "Goodbye, Ms. Carter." Door. The gunshot was deafening in the enclosed space. Rachel screamed, but it wasn't Emma who fell. Sheriff Vance staggered back, blood blooming across his chest. His gun clattered to the floor as he collapsed against the wall. Behind him stood a slight figure in a hospital gown, Mia Rodriguez. The scalpel in her hand dripped red. Her voice was calm. "I remember you," Vance choked. You weren't supposed to wake up." Mia knelt beside him. "I remember everything." She plunged the scalpel into his throat. The awakening. One by one, the cell doors unlocked. The teens stumbled out, ripping electrodes from their skin. Some wept, some screamed, and some just smiled. Rachel helped Nick to his feet as Emma collected weapons from Vance's body. Mia wiped bloody hands on her gown. "They're coming." Rachel didn't have to ask who. The sirens grew louder, the lights flickered faster, and from the upper floors came the sound of boots. Dozens of them, descending. Emma shoved the revolver into Rachel's hands. "Take Nick. Get to the train tracks." Rachel shook her head. "I'm not leaving you." Mia stepped forward. "We'll hold them off." All around them, the awakened teens picked up pipes, scalpels, broken glass. Their eyes burned with the same terrifying light. Emma kissed Rachel's forehead. "Go." The escape. Rachel half-dragged Nick through the asylum's crumbling tunnels, the sounds of battle echoing behind them. His voice was slurred. "Serum makes you see things." Rachel's grip tightened. "What things?" Nick's haunted eyes met hers. "The future." An explosion rocked the building. Dust rained from the ceiling. And ahead, daylight. They burst into the open air just as the first train whistle sounded. Rachel didn't look back. She couldn't, because if she did, she might see the flames, might hear the screams, might wonder if Emma's last act was a miracle or the first shot in a war.